So in today's video, I'm going to talk about how the transition looks from being a classroom teacher to now an instructional designer. Stay tuned. Rack it up, I got a bit of the bank to make me a safe house. Shake it up, she got her hands on her knees and she bringing the cake out. Smoke it up, I got some gas, some packs, I'm up in the greenhouse. Ball it up, I'm with the game. Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Patrice Isaac, and here I share my journey on how I left the classroom to become an instructional designer, becoming a new wife, and also running my side business, Isaac & Co. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button for me so you can follow my journey. All right, let's go ahead and get started. So in today's video, I'm going to talk about how the transition looked from leaving the classroom to becoming an instructional designer, and just kind of talk about the day-to-day and the job expectations. All right, so let's first begin with the daily schedule. So with teaching, you typically work from 7 to 3, 4-ish, Monday through Friday, summers off, weekends off, all the holidays, all of that good stuff. Now in instructional design, if you are working in corporate, you're typically going to work a year-round schedule. But one of the benefits of this industry is that there are a ton of remote job opportunities. So if you do not know, remote work is very flexible. So my typical day, I normally start around 10. I work a 10 to 6, and that was just because what I chose. My job is very lenient with our daily schedules. So some people may work 7 to 4, 8 to 5, whatever is suitable for you. But within that time frame, I do have flexibility if I need to go to an appointment, or if I had to do like children drop off at school. I have the flexibility to do that. So it varies because yes, you do work year round and you don't work a typical school schedule. You're working a more corporate schedule, but for me it works because I have way more flexibility. So if I'm not feeling well one day or something comes up, I don't really have to be concerned about coverage for students. All I need to do is just really put my way from my desk out of office on, and then everyone will know when I get back I will handle whatever I need to handle. So that's typically what a daily schedule is for me. So next, we're going to talk about job expectations. So as a teacher, the job expectations was to, make sure your students are learning, make sure they're engaged, along with a lot of other admin duties. But typically, your job expectation was to teach students. So in instructional design, you are truly behind the scenes. Most of the time, you're not going to meet the learner that you're creating coursework for. You are a behind the scenes worker. So you do not interact with the student or learner per se. You're doing a lot of behind the scenes work. Also in instructional design, your daily expectations will change. So some days I may have meetings with my manager, my team, my department. Some days I may have to do some editing. Some days I may have to do some outlining, some transcribing. It just depends where I am in my project. So another thing I would like to add, instructional design is very project based. So there's a lot of moving parts when you're working on a project. And if you're an educator, you're very familiar with project based learning. So we're not learning, we're project based working. So there are a lot of moving parts in instructional design. So one day is going to look totally different from the next day. Just depends on where exactly you are in your project. So those are the differences with the expectations. You're just really expected to keep up with your projects as opposed to being in a classroom. Your main objective is to make sure your students are learning. Okay, so another big one is evaluations. I know as a classroom teacher, I really dreaded having an evaluation or walk through, whatever your school may call it. In instructional design, you are evaluated quite often. So when I say evaluated, it could be a form of a peer review, an editor review, a graphics review, a subject matter expert review, just a ton of different things that happen along the way. And the basis of all of the reviews and feedback and evaluation is because the goal is to make sure that this is the best course, the best project we're putting out. So it's going to go through rounds and rounds of reviews and edits. So that was something that kind of scared me because it was already expected that, hey, you are going to get feedback, and you're going to get it quite often. So we don't want you to take it personal. It's not nothing on you, but it's just the nature of the work. So this was a big adjustment for me because teaching, yes, there were walkthroughs, but it wasn't really immediate feedback that you had to somewhat implement. But in instructional design, after your project is going through the review process, you are expected to implement it right then and there. And it was an adjustment, but honestly, I think that makes me a stronger instructional designer because I'm learning how to make my work better. So all in all, there are some likenesses and some differences, but the transition wasn't a bad one. The biggest transition difficulty that I came across was the evaluation and the feedback. The daily schedule and the job expectations worked out for me because those were things that I was looking for in a new career. All right, I hope this video helped in some type of way. You can also click the link in the description to look at my portfolio and other resources to help you get into instructional design. And if you have not, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button to follow my journey. All right, guys.